Okay, we have 2 minutes before we go to lunch. Been given the green light, or actually the red light. Anybody want to share quickly what you discussed at the table, and we'll resume the, how about a different table? Different table. Different table. Anybody? Different table. Yes, ma'am. Here we go. Yes, ladies. Okay, listen up, please.
So when we were at the previous exercise and we were talking about the 12 rules in life, we were discussing the balance in life, and we think this is somehow related because you wouldn't know where you stand unless you sit down and actually face the facts and see where you are now, how significant you are on all aspects, and you need to balance your social life, your work life, your family, your emotional balance within, and all of these things. It wouldn't be good to be on a high scale on one aspect and low on the others. We always need to find that balance that gives us hope and faith to continue and commit to whatever we're good at tonight.
Okay, because we're going to lunch, let's get a guy's perspective on that. That was wonderful. That was magnificent. She speaks for all of us. My assignment in the National Football League is the same assignment that I had with you today. What would you say to yourselves? It's a tough assignment. They even built this little platform out so I feel like I'm Miss America coming out and going, hello. Yeah, and then I can go back and push my button and come back out, hello. Amazing. What would you say? So walk with me into this National Football League team meeting. 53 elite athletes. I'm supposed to take them to the next level. What would you do? What would you say? I get the name of a captain of the team and an assistant coach, and I have them hold a broomstick 12 inches off the floor. And ahead of time, I get the name of the best natural athlete on the entire team. Every single one of the 32 teams in the National Football League have at least one guy who can jump 38 inches high. I don't know how many centimeters that is, but 38 inches high is pretty high. Without any running start, no inertia, they just stand there and go, eat a Big Mac, drink a Diet Coke before they land. You're like, whoa. And this prima donna is always sitting in the back of the team meeting. No surprise. So I call him out by name. And what is his reaction on all 32 teams? Why are you bothering me? Why did you wake me up? Don't you know who I am? Haven't you read my newspaper clippings? I've read my newspaper clippings. Why are you bothering me? So I have to coax him, and his teammates kind of clap him up, and sure enough, he finally gets up out of his chair in the back row, and yes, he wanders up to the front of the room. It takes him 30 minutes. And he finally gets to the front of the room, and here's the captain of the team and the assistant coach holding a broomstick 12 inches off the floor. And so I engage him in conversation. Do you think you can jump over that 12-inch high broomstick? The reaction's always the same. So I changed the question. Will you jump over that 12-inch high broomstick? And every single time it's exactly the same. For some reason they do this with their fingers. They pacify me, they skip over the bar, and then they stare me down, so I stare back. And the conversation goes like this. Why did you only jump 12 inches high when you and your teammates know you can jump 38 inches high? And the answer is always the same, because that's all you asked me to do. Every single one of us in this room know exactly how high our colleagues, our family members, our friends' bar is set because we're around them. We watch it on a daily basis, personally and professionally. But only you and you and you and me, only we know how high our bar should be, how high our bar could be. And if we understand that change is obsolete, that change creates resistance because it's against human nature to change. Not one of us woke up this morning and said, I think I'm going to be different, did we? They say the dog will not move off the nail he is sitting on until the nail starts to hurt enough. But when we can start looking at it as proactive, intentional stretch to better ourselves, to go into that point of, past the point of discomfort, all we have to do is find someone whom we love and respect and trust implicitly, who cares enough about us reaching our full potential and capacity as a human being, who we will allow into our most vulnerable places and say, Yusuf, you're amazing. I love you like a brother. You're a dear friend. You're smart. You're talented. You're successful. You're significant. And right now, brother, I think you're at about 33. And I can see the 38 in you. And instead of him going, man, your own business. What do you mean I'm not the best I can be? What do you mean I'm not competing against myself? What do you mean I'm not pushing myself? That out of respect and friendship, he says, Dan, that is so nice that you care that much about me. And then we find those three people who have done it before, who basically validate, if you can do it, so can I. And when the water in the lake goes up, all the boats rise together, and we actually have a chance of reaching our full capacity and potential as a human being. That makes so much sense to me. And because we're winding down in the seminar, that's the most powerful challenge, that in order for us to perpetuate the difference that we've experienced together today, not as much interaction, but definitely testing and taxing the mind and the attitude and the belief system, which is what I really want to do, because once your attitude is right, your abilities will always catch up. That with that challenge on the table, that you'll find someone in this room before the day is over that you can team up with as your personal mentor, as your coach, as your stretcher, as your physical therapist of the mind, of the heart, of the spirit, of the attitude, who basically says, congratulations, attaboy, attagirl. Look what you've done with your life. Look what you're doing in your personal and professional relationships. But you know what? There's a little bit more inside that together we can pull out of one another. And therefore, this seminar has not only started the stretch, but now you commit to one another to keep the stretch alive. Until I come back in January and you invite your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren for a free cartoon day. Does that make sense? And so please turn to the last part of law number 3. This is so exciting. It's a self-test. Not so much interaction between the folks at the table, but a definite self-assessment that will change your life, because what it will do is it will help you see where you are and then inspire you to figure out how high you must set your bar to take it to the next level. It's called the stretching. It's in stretch, but it's called the balance wheel. And you'll see it. I'll give you a photograph of it right here, just one second. And Yusuf, you've been so good to me. What page is it on? Okay. Here's some quotes. Pressure is not something that is naturally there. It's created when you question your own ability. When you know what you can do, there's never any question. Crisis does not make or break the man or woman. It just reveals the true character within. Adversity introduces us to ourselves. We cannot reach our full potential until we are stretched. I'll talk about music in a second, but that's what this looks like if you look up on the screen. It's the self-assessment tool that I have in the book. I'm calling it the balance wheel. Do you see that? Please find that, and I'll give you the instructions so you don't have to read them. What you do is you identify and you analyze each of these 9 areas of our lives. Physical fitness. You notice I didn't just say physical. It's physical fitness. Do you have the strength and stamina to do something for your family if there's a crisis? Serious automobile accident and the car starts on fire and you're so out of shape you can't even lift your child up out of the back seat and carry her to safety. That's a sad day. Physical fitness, continuous education, BIBF, Center for Leadership and Management. I encourage all of you to continually sign up for course after course. Deeper spirituality, what does that mean? You understand the 5 pillars of Islam? You're dedicated, saying our prayers 5 times a day. We're doing all the things that are required. How do you deepen your spirituality? You do things that are not required. You figure out a way to drill deeper and think higher. It's so extraordinary and so significant. Emotional stability, social networking. We become the average of the 5 people we associate with the most. But our conversation at lunch, there's a 4 degrees of separation. You've seen, I've interviewed every famous person and powerful person on the planet that I've ever wanted to hang out with. Because I understand the 4 degrees of separation. Financial responsibility. There's a reason why we don't go into debt. There's a reason how, and there's the rules, the laws of getting out of debt. Family togetherness, not just familia, not just family, but family togetherness. Leisure, fun, charitable giving. I'll stop talking. Please assess. There's an opportunity for you to mark in a line 1 to 15. And all you do is just be honest with yourself. If you think you're about 50-50 in your physical fitness, then you give yourself a 50-yard marker, a middle mark, a number 7 or a number 6. You fill in that blank of this balance wheel. Deeper spirituality. Might be a 3 for some of you. It might be a 12 for some of you. Good for you. But regardless of what it is, be so honest with yourself, thinking that no one will ever see this chart. And then as soon as you have registered where you are in this balance wheel, physical fitness could be a 9. Continuous education might be a 4. Deeper spirituality might be a 1. Emotional stability might be an 11. And the list goes on, and each one is different. And then the next part of this assignment is so exciting, because what you do then is you connect each of the 9 areas with a line. And you will see that your balance wheel is not a wheel at all. It's not round. And here's the irony, my friends. In life, when our life gets bumpy and tough, when the road gets rough and the traveling gets tiresome, we blame the road. When in reality, we need to blame ourselves and figure out a way to fix the tires, fix ourselves. And so now you say, okay, what must I do in that particular category to not jump up 3 inches? We're just going from 12 to 13, 13 to 4 inches on that, 14 inches on that broomstick. Whatever level you currently are at, figure out what you must do, the 3 people you need in your life to help you stretch and keep the stretch alive, so that you can round out your balance wheel. And you know what, in the process, the young lady who, the 2 women in the back who contributed their take on what do we do with perseverance and the weight loss program that they were talking about with food and with exercise. It's amazing how we become disciplined in that particular law spills over into being disciplined in the other laws, especially in stretch, because now we see that physical fitness and emotional stability are maybe tied together, because we have a greater self-esteem when we feel better about ourselves, have more energy to interact with people, and the world is a good place. So are you interacting right now? I don't see a lot of folks writing. Maybe some of you are. Do you want to fill in this balance wheel? And if you have, I challenge you to now connect the dots so that you see if your life is in balance or if it's out of balance. It's so vitally important that we do this before you leave the hotel, so you have something that you immediately can work on when you walk out the door.